Sometimes the reason we love playing video games is the ability to experience power, but sometimes it's to do totally impossible things like jumping the hell off high stuff. Hi folks, it's Falcon, and today on gameranx, the 10 highest locations you can jump from in video games. Starting off at number 10, it's SpiderMan, the One World Trade Center. It is the tallest building in New York City, both in the game and, in real life. It's 1,776 feet tall, 1776, cute guys, we get the joke, and it is the tallest building in the Western Hemisphere, so why wouldn't you want to get on top of it? SpiderMan is just an awesome game for falling, too. It's just really fun, and you can even press a button to fall faster, like to dive faster. And being Spider-Man, there's no damage. You just shoot a web and swing away. It's just another perk of being a superhero, just playing around with death in such a way that you're undamaged. At number 9 is Assassin's Creed Odyssey's Poseidon's Palace. You can get pretty high up in Assassin's Creed Valhalla, but the previous game, Odyssey, has the highest point in the entire series, and that is Poseidon's Palace from the Fate of Atlantis DLC. The place is literally supposed to be the lost city of Atlantis, and it's about as impressive as you'd expect. Just trying to climb up to the palace at the center, it feels like it takes forever, but you get a great view of the entire city from up there, so why not? The most ridiculous part is that you can still perform a swan dive from up here and somehow survive. I don't think that a little pile of hay or a little pool of water is actually enough of a cushion for a fall like this, but the game is like, yeah, whatever, it's fine. You can do that. And to be frank, I'm particularly happy that they let you do that because it is beyond fun. It's such an interesting location. It's not something you're ever going to see in your real life, and it is a hell of a fall. At number 8 is The Elder Scrolls V: Skyrim's College of Winterhold. Now, there are some higher points in Skyrim, like the Throat of the World, but if you want an uninterrupted fall from top to bottom, probably the best place to do it, that's the top of the College of Winterhold to the water below. And it's kind of a wild fall because you feel really insignificant. It's obviously not modern architecture, and the College of Winterhold just has this kind of gravity to it as it is, like not falling out of it makes you feel fairly insignificant. Like, yeah, again, there are some pretty high spots in Skyrim. There's mountains everywhere, but this is primarily a first-person game, so there's not a lot of fun sliding down a steep slope. You want a straight dive, and from my experience, this is one of the highest and best places to do it from, at least in terms of amount of time falling. The world is huge, obviously, so there might be better places to jump from out there. This is just the best one I have come across. At number 7 is the Ghosts of Tsushima Turtle Rock Shrine. Like, this game has probably some of the most beautiful views you're going to find in a game. It is amazing looking. And one of the best views you're going to see in this game, where everything is amazing, is on top of this mountain here in central Tsushima. Like, there's higher points in the game, but they're either inaccessible or you definitely don't have this kind of view. This view just blows everything else away. So, in my opinion, this spot wins out. Getting up there is a bit of a platforming challenge, but once you're at the shrine, there's actually a way to get just a little bit higher on a nearby peak. Like, you can get a view of most of the island from here, and of course, you can jump off. Now, you are not an assassin though. Even if there was a bale of hay at the bottom, it would not matter. You will not survive this fall. It is not something that you're gonna do. However, if you enjoy jumping off stuff in video games, and frankly, sometimes it's one of the best and most fun things you can do, this is a place you gotta try it from. At number 6 is Grand Theft Auto V's Mount Chiliad. Now, this is a mountain we have brought up a very large number of times on this channel. I think you've probably seen it for a lot of different reasons, too. This time, however, it's a little bit more mundane. It's just a really tall mountain. Like, yeah, you can find tons of stuff about this mountain. There's conspiracy theories, there's crazy stuff you can find, but it's just huge, too. And let's just be clear, Grand Theft Auto 5 is one of the more fun games to jump off stuff in, because one simple thing, like the physics. Instead of just falling flat or fading to black, you can watch your character roll down the mountain with all the realism that Rockstar's engine can provide, and it is entertaining to say the very least, especially when you turn on a god mode so you don't die from it. Like, I always think about this one very specific moment from The Simpsons. Whenever this happens, it's Homer falling down Springfield Gorge, except you can make it happen forever. That was a bit in The Simpsons that was just, it never stopped being funny. And as it went on, it got funnier. It works the same way here in Grand Theft Auto 5. And number 5 is Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild's Death Mountain Peak. Like, just getting up there is a huge ordeal. And like, you have to deal with scorching heat and it'll burn anything wooden you got, whether it's on your character, a weapon, the lava, the steep cliffs. Everything is impossible to get through unless you've got a lot of stamina. And if you really want to be able to do anything up there, you're going to have to deal with the divine beast that's up there as well. There's not really a lot to jump to around here. It's really just a better spot to glide from than jump off of because it's incredibly high up, but you can see so much in doing that. And what makes Breath of the Wild different from most of the games on this list is that it's actually somewhat difficult to climb in, so there's kind of a sense of accomplishment when you get up to the top of something. In fact, a lot of the mechanics in the game work out that way, trying to create that sense of accomplishment. And how else are you going to get down anyway? Just jump. It's fun. It's always fun. Jumping off high spaces in Zelda is particularly fun with the glider, let's just be clear. And number 4 is Gravity Rush 2, which is falling from the top of the city to the bottom of it. Like, the game itself is literally all about falling. When you're flying in this game, which is basically all the time, you're actually really just falling. Your character has gravity powers, so they just change the gravity for themselves, which is a little bit confusing, but it's really obvious what's going on when you're playing the game. And let's be clear, even if you're confused from this description, the game is incredibly fun and very worth your time. So if it sounds even vaguely appealing, just falling at everything, if this list was something that pulled you in, this might be a game you want to try. There's a lot of falling in it. Basically, you're always falling, even when you're going sideways. But if you want to fall the old-fashioned way, you still can. Like, you just need to find something that's vertical that you can fall off of. And this is probably one of the most vertical open world games of all time. All of the major sections of the city are layered on top of one another, and it's possible to fall from the very top all the way to the undercity. It does take like a really long time, like more than a minute of pure falling to get to the bottom. And this is probably the weirdest game on the list, but if you like jumping off stuff, this game is literally just that, except you have directional control of gravity as well. And number 3 is Saints Row 4's Biggest Tower. Like, this game's totally nuts, and there is no end to the amount of dumb stuff you can do, but falling off of things is one of the more fun things to do, to be clear. There aren't a lot of really high up points outside of the central tower, this thing in the middle of the city. Like, getting up is actually pretty challenging, even for an OP superhero, which you are that in this game, but once you're up there, you can pretty much glide to any point in the city or just fall. It's not like you'll die. Not in Saints Row 4. And number 2 is the bridge at Caer-Trold of the Caer-Trold Mountain. This is an obvious one for anyone who's played the game. Your main objective is to talk to the king at Caer-Trold, who lives in this castle high up on top of a mountain. I don't know, maybe the guy likes his privacy, maybe he's a loner, maybe it's a symbol of wealth in their culture. I don't know, I don't care. This is the best place to do it from in this game. Just getting up there from the town below takes a really long time, and when you get up there, you'll find a tempting place to jump from, which is the bridge in front of the castle. Now, jumping from this bridge is especially fun because you can actually dive into the water below and somehow survive if you're able to position yourself right. Like, jumping from the actual highest point, pretty much a death sentence, however. The mountain over the castle can be climbed, but there's no safe landings for jumping up there. Still, we do love to jump from things in games, and this is a hell of a spot to do it from. However, I think overall it's more fun to do it from the bridge. It's bizarre when you survive from it, but it's weirdly satisfying as well. And finally, at number 1 is Just Cause 4's The Kachas Mountains. The highest point in the game is so ridiculously silly high up and only available once you beat the game, so it's gonna be some work to get there. And not just some work climbing, but some work beating the game. The Just Cause games are famous for land masses and how big they are, and this game is in no way a slouch. Getting up there without a helicopter or a jet or something is nothing short of a mass endurance test. And jumping off from here, it's gonna take a long time to get down, These are not your regular video game mountains that are actually more like hills. These are just really extremely ridiculously tall masses of rock, and it takes forever to even just fall off of them. But that's all for today. What's your favorite thing to jump off of in a video game? Did we mention it here, or is it something else? Leave us a comment, let us know. If you like this video, click like. If you're not subscribed, now's a great time to do so. We upload brand new videos every day of the week. The best way to see them first is, of course, a subscription. So click subscribe. Don't forget to click the notification button. And as always, we thank you very much for watching this video. I'm Falcon. You can follow me on Twitter at Falcon the Hero. And we'll see you next time right here on gameranx.